right. So guys, thanks for hopping in on this call today. We have Ashley, who is the Director of Operations, and she's one of the lead trainers at Agency MVP. She's been there for 3 years. Agency MVP is a lead management CRM software for insurance agents. And as a former insurance agent owner, myself, I used Agency MVP. So I can speak behind it. I've worked with Agency MVP in the past on projects, and I've worked within the system building my own client base. And so I can't speak highly enough for Agency MVP. And I'm super excited to have Ashley here today. Agency MVP has, I believe it's 1,000 users, you said, within the system? Yeah, so 1,000 users, it means that the system works. And I credit a lot of my success as an agency owner to having that system in place. And so Ashley's going to go over today basically how to master your pipeline. So as an insurance agent, one of the hardest things to do is mastering your pipeline. That's where your money's at as an agent. And so I'm going to let Ashley take over from here. We're going to let her go on for about 10-15 minutes. And she's going to give you guys some great advice here, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. And if you guys have questions, you can put it in the chat and we can read it out to her. Or if you want to wait till she's done teaching, then you could just unmute and ask any questions you have. So with that being said, I'm going to let Ashley take it over from here. I'm going to give her host ability because I believe she has some slides she wants to share with you guys as well. And Ashley, you can take it from here.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor. I'm happy to be here with you guys. I see some familiar faces, and for those of you that I have not met, again, so nice to meet you. So as Victor mentioned, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about mastering your pipeline. And the first question that I typically ask insurance agents is, where are you getting your leads from? So I know that some agents may purchase internet leads, referrals, your natural market, age leads. And do you have the same contact strategy for all these leads? Probably not. You probably don't want the same contact strategy for an internet lead as you would for a referral or an age lead. So regardless of where you're getting your leads from, you do need a system in place to manage your pipeline. And right now I want you to think about, well, what's in my pipeline? Who am I going to be calling in 3 months or in 6 months, even next year? When you get those leads, and someone's not interested, or are you just saying, okay, well, whatever, like that was it, I'm not going to call them again. Or how are you planning to contact those? So with your contact strategies, you want to tailor it to the type of lead that you are purchasing. So for new leads, if it's an internet lead, if you guys are purchasing any internet leads, you want something that can automatically reach out to those leads as soon as you get that lead. Essentially, you want to be the first person to reach out to them. Those internet leads are probably also getting phone calls from lots of other agents, not just you. So that first contact is key. That first immediate contact is key there. And I hear a lot of agents say, well, sometimes, leads just don't work, or I haven't had good experience with leads, but are you following up with them? Everco actually says it takes 12 to 14 follow-ups on average to close an internet lead. So if you're not able to reach out to them within, I would say, the first 30 days, you're going to want to follow up with them again about 30, 45 days before their renewal. I mean, I have seen internet leads close a year later, a year after, that they were purchased. So it's very key, if internet leads is what you do and what you're buying, that you have that consistent follow-up at the beginning and at the renewal dates. Current book of business. So that could be another lead source, right, that you're working. Think about the renewals. So whenever those households are coming up for renewal, maybe you wrote it through Geico, right? And now they're coming up for their renewal. It's important to start reaching out to them before their renewal so that you can see if you need to shop new rates. Cross-sell automations, right? So if you sold an auto, well, there's still more business that can be sold, more lines of business that can be sold for those households. You want the auto, you want the home, maybe an umbrella. If they have a business, you want commercial, life. So cross-sell automations is something that could just be running in the background while you're just working on all that new business. Win backs, right? That's another one too. Working your own book of business, that's going to be your best ROI, right? Because that's just something you can keep on working. You don't have to spend new money on it. Keep working your own book of business. Now, once you've decided on your contact strategy, once you've kind of mapped it out, you're going to want to build some automations. So you're going to want different automations, just like you want the different contact strategies for your different leads. As I mentioned, for internet leads, I recommend 2 immediate touches. As soon as you get that lead, 2 immediate touches. I would start off with a text message and then follow it up with an email. Everyone has their phone on them, right? And I don't know about you, but if I see an unknown number, I probably won't answer that phone call. But if I get a text message, I'm going to open it and read it and see who's texting me. So that is key there, to text, email as soon as you get that internet lead. And then, of course, you want to continue to follow up. So I actually have an example here that I'll show you guys of what those 2 immediate touches can look like. So let me share my screen. All right, can y'all see that okay? I think you can. Yes, okay. So here's an example of what those touches can look like. You see here, I have a text message. It's going to insert their name. So it's going to say like, hey, Michael, it's the LeBlanc agency. We received your request for a quote. Working on it. Do you prefer I send it via text or email? And don't ask an open-ended question. Don't give them the opportunity to say, no, I'm not interested. How do you want it? Do you want it via text or do you want it via email? I spoke to an agent the other day and she said that she actually changed the word email and said for a phone call. And she has found success with that verbiage as well. So let them tell you how they want you to send them that quote. And then you can follow up with an email. Now, the email can be a little bit longer. With your text message, you just want them short. You want them sweet, to the point. You kind of want to it's like almost bait, right? To just reel them in so that as soon as they respond, now you can gather the rest of their information. Well, let me confirm your household members. Let me confirm your vehicles, etc. The email, this can be a little bit longer. Here, you can maybe ask them to verify their auto, verify anyone else that needs to be on the policy. So I have an email going out 5 minutes later. I don't want them to know it's an automation. I want them to think, oh, wow, Ashley went to her computer and also typed up an email for me. So that's why I would suggest a few minutes later so it doesn't seem so automated. Another automation are XA automations. So XA automations, again, you're going to want to reach out to your leads a little bit before their renewal date so that you can say, hey, you're up for renewal. You probably already got the statement saying that your prices are going up or whatnot. So let me go ahead and shop for you, see if I can find something a little better for you. So the option to just kind of have that go out automatically without you having to worry about the new leads that you're working and the referrals. And then, oh my gosh, let me see who's also coming up for renewal. A renewal automation that's just going to go on in the background and have someone say, oh yeah, I am coming up for renewal. Can you go ahead and what you can find? That's going to be important too. So I have some examples here. as well for renewal automations. So I have my first action going out as an email, and I have it 45 days before their renewal. So this would be something that can just automatically be sent out before that renewal date. You're saying, hey, looks like your insurance is renewing. I'm just going to do another coverage comparison for you. Do you want me to send it to you, or has anything changed? This is the information I have. These are the drivers I still have. These are the vehicles. Do I need to add a new vehicle? So that's an email. And then about 35 days before the renewal, that's when I'm going to text them, right? Again, they may not see the email, but most likely they're going to see that text message. So again, just saying hello again. It's about time for your renewal. Any changes in drivers or vehicles. So I can send you that quote. Now, I would recommend that your automations have a total of maybe between 7 to 10 actions total. But here are just a few examples to kind of start you guys off with what you can say. Now, another automation that you could use is for onboarding. So once you sold a policy, you want to deliver that information. You want to let them know, like, hey, whatever you need, I'm here. You also probably want them to write a Google review for you, right? So with that onboarding automation, you can say, hey, here's that Google link. Can you leave me a review? You could even make your onboarding automation, but join it with a cross-sell opportunity automation. So, hey, welcome to the agency. Hey, leave me a Google review. And then maybe your third action, starts talking about life insurance and the possibility for that. So these onboarding automations, it can just be onboarding, or it could be onboarding with maybe a cross-sell opportunity for them. All right, so those were the automations that I wanted to show you guys. Now, of course, you also want to make sure that you're kind of managing your staff, right? You want to make sure your producers are going through, you want to make sure that they're calling your valuable prospects, working the new leads, closing new business, and not just chasing internet leads due to the lack of proper follow-up. So make sure you're monitoring that agency activity, whether it's like calls being made, how many households are being quoted, how many lines of business are being quoted. And you want to have something that can show you a report for your ROI. So whether you're getting your leads from a variety of sources, such as internet, or maybe you did an event at a school with teachers or the Chamber of Commerce, you want something to see where you're getting your best return. If it's multiple internet sources, you want to say, okay, I'm closing more with EverQuote than I am with Quote Wizard, or I'm doing better with Smart Financial. So you want something to track that so that you can make sure you're spending your money wisely. So if you don't have a system like that, as Victor mentioned, Agency MVP, that's who I work for. It is a smart lead management system. It's a tool that can help you scale up your agency. And we are currently going to be offering a promo if you wanted to try it for free. We will give you $100 off of your first month. You get a free 2-week trial. If you want to give it a try, you can go to try.agencymvp.com. And this is going to be your coupon code GROWTH23 for $100 off of your first month.
Awesome. And actually, I just want to tack on top of some of the automations that you sent out. And if you don't mind, just putting that coupon code in the chat as well. I put the link in there for you guys, and I'll put it in the YouTube video for anyone who is checking this video after the fact. But on that first email, this is on the sales side, guys. That open-ended, like, do you want us to send you the quote via text or email? This is giving them a predetermined option, right? You're predetermining the choices that they're going to make with the illusion of choice, right? So, this is something that I use in my text messaging and scheduling, appointment scheduling, selling, all these things. You're giving them two choices that are already predetermined. You are getting this quote, right? There is no that's coming with it. It's whether you want it via text or you want it via email, or as Ashley said, someone else used text or call, right? And so if you guys start implementing this into your sales pitches when you're actually talking to clients and leads, and you take that same mindset going in, whether it's appointment setting for yourself, right? So in that sense, if I'm trying to schedule an appointment with someone, maybe I'm cold calling or it's a colder lead, and I'm just trying to get them on a Zoom call, or I'm trying to get them to get on a phone call with me. I'm going to say, hey, I have 2 days available for you to talk next week. Are you available Tuesday or Thursday? Which day is better for you? Right? I'm not giving them the option to say, no, I don't want to hop on a call with you. It's, I have Tuesday and Thursday. Which day do you want? And they always choose one or the other, right? So it's super important. It works. If you guys have texting capabilities and you have internet leads, you should be using that exact script because it works. You're going to get more people responding. You're going to get people giving you the option to quote, right? That opt-in, which is so important with internet leads. When you have, depending on who you're using, if you're using EverQuote, if you're using, Quote Wizard or any of these lead vendors, they're selling these leads out to 3 to 5 different agents, right? So you're also competing against other agents on that speed to contact, which is why it's important to have automations in place to help you beat the people who are manually dialing, right? And you want to differentiate yourself and not just have that speed to contact, but also reach out to people in their means of method that they prefer to communicate with. So if someone prefers to communicate via text, right? You might not be a texting person, but at the end of the day, it's not what you want. It's what the client wants, right? They prefer to text until you get to the point where you have to hop on a phone call, right? Give them that comfort level, work with them, give them options. The good thing about a system like MVP is you can simultaneously send out a text and email while you're calling them, right? And so you're making 3 contacts simultaneously. So with that being said, Ashley she did put the code in there. So if anyone wants to try it, it's in there. I will put this on the YouTube video. It'll be in the description as well. So if anyone who's catching this later on wants to try out MVP, the link will be there. The code will be in there. With that being said, anyone who's on the call, if you have any questions for Ashley, you can unmute your mic or you could type it in the chat. We're going to give you guys a couple minutes to ask any questions that you have.
And another thing I wanted to add, I've heard a lot of agents say like, oh yeah, well, if they say no, they don't want to quote, then basically they just give up. Don't need to give up just because they don't want to quote today. And that's the beautiful thing about the automation is you don't want to quote today, fine. I'll just, pipeline you out. I'll give you a call maybe if I get to give you a call in 5 months. But if I don't get to call you, I have these automations that are going to be texting and emailing you already for me. So don't give up, just because they don't want to quote today or just because they said, no, I don't want to talk right now. Just pipeline them out and put them on some automations. And in a few months, they're going to start hearing from you again and say, oh yeah, I remember, Danny called me and let me see what he has to say this time.
Cool. Anyone have any questions? Alex, Kathy, Danny, Rich, Doug?
Do you all have any of the workflows for the automations that you all discussed, like have like a procedure or a workflow manual?
Yeah,
you can share.
So we have workflow templates that are built into your account, ready for you to use. We have an internet lead one that's ready. We have like an onboarding, lead re-engagement. We have several X-state workflows as well. So those screenshots that I showed you are actually from Agency MVP. That's kind of what they look like. And there's about 7 actions in each of our workflows.
Yeah. Okay. So it is a done for you marketing system as far as email and text templates are concerned. They're already built in day one. So all you have to do is start uploading leads, and MVP is going to start working as essentially, I mean, it's basically another producer for you, right? It's like having a telemarketer on auto, right? Like it's working for you during working hours, sending out texts, sending out emails, and re-engaging prospects, right? Which I think is huge, because as you guys start building out your pipelines and you have more and more leads piling up, it becomes very difficult to get enough contacts to re-engage all these clients. And so when you have automations in place like MVP, where you have emails going out, text messages going out on the back end, you don't have to do it manually. And so you're re-engaging prospects that you probably wouldn't have had a chance to get in contact with otherwise. You know what I mean? Unless you have dedicated telemarketers who are just there dialing all day for you. And even in that case, not everyone picks up phone calls, right? We know less than 7% of people are going to pick up a phone call. And if they don't have your number saved, it's less than 3%. So, you know, the chances of even a telemarketer, it's a numbers game, and it has to be high activity. So being able to bring in the automated text and email significantly improves your chances of re-engaging these prospects. Did that answer your question, Michael? Or were you asking more of like, is there just available outside of the system?
Well, then I heard you mention, this stuff's kind of new to me. I heard you mention like you have like, you know, you have these 2 days available that, you know, so that wouldn't be like an automated one. That would, because you know, you never know what your schedule is going to look like. So then you follow them up with a link to your calendar that, you know, give those options to them, or is that just a general statement just to get them to buy it? Or
so within MVP, the text that she showed is going to be like someone you purchase an internet lead, let's say EverQuote, Quote Wizard, it automatically hits MVP. MVP is going to send that text message out, and what it's asking is if that person who just filled out that form wants the quote sent via text or email. I do it on sales calls when I'm scheduling appointments for myself, where I say, hey, you know, you filled out a form for, you know, I own a marketing agency. So if someone's trying to, you know, schedule a call to get leads, or they're trying to schedule a call, you know, because they want a new website, I'm going to say, hey, you filled out this form saying that you were interested in getting a new website. I have Tuesday and Thursday available. Which day? That's over the phone, because I have my calendar in front of me, so I can, you know, choose whichever 2 days I want. But when you're doing it through text, you're going to do it, you know, do you prefer us to send you this quote via text or email? Would you like us to call or email or text? You could choose whichever options are available for you. When you're doing, you could technically do it on scheduling too. So just make sure that you have an app in place that is reading your calendar to make sure that you're not double booking or anything like that. So if you have Calendly, or you have Acuity scheduling, or if you use Google Calendar or Microsoft Outlook, you can go get TidyCal for like $30. It's lifetime access, one-time payment, and it connects to your Zoom account and it connects to your Google Calendar, and it'll read it, and you select the days and availabilities that you have. And so when you're sending out an automated text on MVP, you could say, hey, I have some time next week, you know, on Wednesday and Thursday. Click on the link and you'll be able to choose your availability, and it'll pop up your entire calendar so they could choose whatever day they want. But really the whole purpose of it is to not give them the option to say no, and to move them on to the next step.
But typically, Michael, like if someone is saying, yeah, send it via text message, they're going to want it now. So that's when you would say, okay, let me just confirm. I see here that you have a Nissan Maxima 2020. Is that still correct? Or you stated that this is your address. Is that correct? So you're going to start verifying their information. And then you might even say, okay, I just need to verify a few more things. Is, you know, can I give you a call at 1:00? Or is 1:00 a good time for you? And then that's when you can just start immediately quoting them. But yeah, the what Victor was saying, the calendar thing, I think that's more for his marketing side. When you're buying these internet leads, you don't want them to wait till next week, right? For you to give them a quote. They want it now, within 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? Anyone? Don't be shy. All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to end it here, and just want to say, Ashley, thank you so much for hopping on today and doing this workshop with us. Thank you everyone for taking some time out of your day to hop on here. We have the link in the chat. So if you do want to try out MVP, if you're not a user, it's available in there, try.agencymvp.com. And the code is growth23. And that's for $100 off your first month. And if you're catching this on the back end, we will have it up on YouTube, and we'll have this up again.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining.
Awesome. All right, guys, have a good one.
You too. Thank you.